Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Raid YouTube channel. We're continuing with the series we left off on, which is Indians create all-time 11s for particular clubs. In the previous video, we did an all-time 11 with Nabil for Real Madrid, and this time around, we'll be focusing on my favorite team of all time, Manchester United. Now, I'm a huge Manchester United fan, have been since the year 2009, and along with me, I have another huge United fan, a friend of mine all the way from high school, Varun Mudur. He is currently in London, in England, and he has seen a few Manchester United matches, so he probably has that slight advantage over me. But yeah, he will be helping me, or he will be creating an all-time 11 for himself. I will be doing the same, and at the end of the video, if we have enough time, we'll discuss who's got the better 11. But if not, you guys in the comment section can decide who has the better all-time Manchester United 11. Now, the way this works is, in the interest of time, we actually selected our teams beforehand. We will be going in positions of like two just to save time. And yeah, since Varun is the guest, he started us off. And yeah, Varun, why don't you start us off by telling us who you have in the striker spot?
I want to also tell you the formation that we picked. So we decided to go with 4-4-2 because it was basically a very united formation, like right from Sir Alex, and all the formations have changed recently. When I think of 4-4-2, I think United. So yeah, so I think for the striker spot, although there has been debate about whether he should go into a best 11, I can't argue this. But Wayne Rooney for me, broken all the records, been there for such a long time, done so much for the club. So I'm going to stick, Wayne Rooney is my first striker.
And what about your second striker? Who's the other one you selected?
And my second striker, I'm going to go with the person who Wayne Rooney broke records off, and that is Bobby Charlton, the great number 9. So, great number 10. So, the two tens up front for me.
Okay, so Rooney and Bobby Charlton up front for Varun, which means I had the next selection and I had to select the same spots. So with my two striker selections, I picked up Ruud van Nistelrooy and Dimitar Berbatov. Van Nistelrooy, what a classy player. I mean, more so for his dynamism and his ability to make those forward runs and get you goals no matter what the situation. And Dimitar Berbatov, a cool, calm, collected player known for his incredible first touch and control. Together, I believe they'd be an explosive combination. But yeah, those were my selections for the striker spot. We then went over to the centre backs, and with my first centre back selection, I selected Nemanja Vidic. He is my favorite centre back of all time. I just loved how aggressive and powerful he was at the back. A real bull of a player for United. Always made those crunching tackles and was a great leader towards the end of his career for United as well. My second centre back selection, primarily because Warren got the next one, was Gary Pallister. Gary Pallister, one of the guys who thrived with United in the 90s. Great player. Very calm on the ball, known for being a very rational defender. Unfortunately, I didn't have the liberty or the good fortune of watching him play, so I really don't know much about his exact play style. But I think the pairing of him and Vidic would be great. So yeah, those were my two centre back pairings. Let's head over to Varun. Varun, who did you end up selecting at centre back?
So, because we went alternatively and I was lucky to get that as you went first, I think my first pick would have always been Rio Ferdinand. So, I'm glad I got him. Everything that he's done for United over the years, obviously with Vidic, but definitely Rio Ferdinand he's like United through and through. When I think of his partner, like you pointed out, like he's a very Vidic-like, but my second pick for CB was Jaap Stam. So he did a lot as well for United, helped Alex Ferguson through the first few years. It was definitely a big deal in terms of what he did for the club. So Ferdinand and Jaap Stam as my two centre-backs. The next position that we picked, if I remember correctly, was left back. And I decided that I would go for Patrice Evra at left back. More of a modern left back, definitely attacked a lot. But I was very happy to get that first pick there because I can't think of anyone else I would put before Patrice Evra. And yeah, so that was my first pick for left back, Patrice Evra.
I mean, Warren ended up picking up the dynamic Frenchman, which means I had to think a little bit outside the box because when you think of United legends, fullbacks really don't pop out apart from 3 or 4 names, which is why with my left back I went with the Irishman Dennis Irwin, a great servant for United in the 90s, was a part of that iconic team that won the first Champions League in the Sir Alex Ferguson era back in 98, 99. I'm so 99, yeah, 99. So yeah, a very iconic left back. I believe one that can actually go head to head with Patrice Evra in this all-time 11. So yeah, I ended up picking the left back slot. I then moved to the left midfield slot because I wanted to get that out of the way, and I obviously selected Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano Ronaldo. That's 2 videos in a row I've managed to get Cristiano Ronaldo, but I mean, what a classy player, what an incredible player he was. Prior to to one of his bigger injuries, of course, Major Trickster was an absolute weapon down the left-hand side of the field. Tore through defenses, scored some spectacular goals, was a free kick master at that point of time in his career. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo was my left midfield selection. And yeah, Warren, who did you select in the left midfield spot?
So fascinating that you picked your first 2 videos in this series to be Ronaldo teams, but so nice that you picked Cristiano Ronaldo first. I went for someone I've always thought of as a United legend as well. Going in the Bobby Charlton era, I went with George Best. Didn't have a very long career in terms of how good he was, but what he did for United, winning the 1968 Champions League, it was definitely something that stood out. So I had to go for George Best, and yeah, that's my left wing nailed down there. The best pick, as I would say.
Okay, and yeah, who do you go with next?
Yeah, from left wing we went to right back. So for right back, as I got the first pick and I couldn't think of anyone else for this position, especially for everything he's done for United. Such a long career, one of the longest careers I think after Giggs and Scholes. I went with Gary Neville. He's been there through everything right from the start, part of the 1992 class of 92, and he was there till like almost close to the Sir Alex Ferguson era ending. So I had to pick Gary Neville in right back.
So Gary Neville was off the board for me when we came to the right back selections, but I mean, I had to improvise. There's probably no one that can match the incredible career that Gary Neville had with United. So I went for a guy who transitioned from right wing to right back and actually served as our captain for a period of time, and that was the Ecuadorian Antonio Valencia. Pacey guy, could deliver a killer cross in and could shoot from distance. Great player overall, great servant to the club, especially in the post-Ferguson era. So yeah, Antonio Valencia was my right back selection. We then moved on to right midfield, and I think I stole another great player here for myself. The free kick maestro on the right hand side, incredible passer of the ball, incredible dribbler, none other than one of the most iconic number 7s in United history, David Beckham. So yeah, I got the 2 number 7s on either flank with Beckham on the right hand and Ronaldo on the left hand. A great left midfield, right midfield pairing. And yeah, that was my selection at right midfield, David Beckham. Who do you end up selecting in that position, Warren?
So I should just let everyone know David Beckham is my favorite player, and I was quite sad that Nitin got the first pick for that one.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
But I had to improvise on this occasion, so I went for someone I've definitely watched quite a bit of, someone who made me fall in love with United, to be honest, because right wing is my favorite position. After David Beckham, the great Nani. He definitely made me enjoy football the way he used to play. I always thought I could play like him, but well, Nitin's seen me play and he knows I can't even do anything close to that. So I went with Nani just for right wing because I think after Beckham, Nani is someone I would definitely put on the team. I think after that we decided to go for the goalkeeping position, and a lot of you might disagree with me, but for how much he did do in the vital years of the early 2000s, I had to pick Edwin van der Sar as my first keeper choice. There are going to be arguments. I definitely like David De Gea a lot, but I think for all the trophies and everything he did for United in that time, the time frame that he was there, Edwin van der Sar was my pick for goalkeeper.
I mean, Edwin van der Sar is an absolutely amazing pick, but I actually felt really fortunate in this situation. While I do love me some David De Gea, and he was the player I watched the most in goal, I had to go with Peter Schmeichel here, the big Dane. What a force to be reckoned with in goal. One of those keepers that strikers feared every time they went one-on-one with. Such a bull, much like Nemanja Vidic in front of him. Just an incredible player, incredible keeper. Was also a part of that iconic 1999 Champions League winning team, treble winning team in fact. And yeah, Peter Schmeichel was the guy I selected in goal. We then went on to the central midfield positions, and I basically kicked it off with right central midfield, and I went with perhaps the greatest central midfielder in United history, none other than the ginger magician Paul Scholes. What an exceptional player, great at passing, great at shooting. He did everything he could with the ball at his feet. Incredibly underrated also in my opinion. When you're discussing the greatest central midfielders in English football history, everybody always discusses the Lampard and Gerrard battle and debate, but I strongly believe that Paul Scholes was on that level, if not a little bit better than the two of them. And I mean, I'm incredibly happy to have him on my team. Varun, who did you select that could possibly compare to Paul Scholes?
Yeah, when he picked Paul Scholes, I actually thought that I had lost my chance at it, and I completely forgot about some other great United central midfielders, and I settled, I would say, almost in a way, for Brian Robson. Although it's not a settle, he was definitely a great midfielder for United. I just couldn't think of anyone who would second Paul Scholes, and I thought of Brian Robson. I know I kind of messed up there a little bit because Nitin went for the next pick, which made me realize who I missed out on. So please tell us who your next pick was, Nitin.
I mean, before I get to the next pick, you actually had another selection you could make alongside Brian Robson, and you again forgot about that legendary player. So yeah, you ended up selecting, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael Carrick, right?
Yeah. So I went for Michael Carrick again because after Brian, like when I thought about who follows Paul Scholes, I thought Brian Robson. I was like, okay, there could be literally no one else. I was forgetting Roy Keane. I think his time on TV right now is making me forget how much he did for football, but that was just completely on me. So I had to go from Brian Robson to Michael Carrick. Not a bad pairing at all in midfield, but nothing compared to Paul Scholes and who Nitin picked. So
yeah, so like he mentioned, he forgot about Roy Keane, which allowed me to select Roy Keane, probably the greatest captain in Manchester United history. What a leader on the pitch. Once again, one of those aggressive do or die players who didn't really care who was in front of him. He absolutely messed up anybody who tried to get in his way. And yeah, I mean, I was so happy to end up with the midfield pairing of Scholes and Keane. And you know, taking a look at my team, I'd actually say I won this. There is obviously a debate to be had. I mean, if you could pick like your best three players that you could think would compete with my players in certain positions, who would you go for? Like, who are your lock-ins for, I definitely am winning this position?
I mean, yeah, the position, I think just because we did it alternatively when we decided earlier, I think if I went for three, I would go for Rooney, Bobby Charlton, and probably Ferdinand. I can't think of anyone else who you could have, like, I couldn't beat any of your other positions apart from those three, but it's also because we did the alternate wise, otherwise you'd have probably picked Ferdinand as well. So a bit of a miss on my part when I think about some positions. I should have thought about it a little hard.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
At that moment, but this is just how it is. It's back and forth, and you very fairly have a better team.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, before we actually filmed this, it was pretty much on the spot. So, it's tough to think about certain players in certain situations, which is why we ended up with the teams we have. I mean, if I could add, I still think that the striker position is debatable for us. I think Van Nistelrooy and Berbatov are a killer pairing, like Rooney and Charlton. But I do think you won the right back selection as well. You had Gary Neville. I had Antonio Valencia. No denying who had the better right back career. Other than that, I mean, yeah, there's a debate to be had with Dennis Irwin and Patrice Evra. I think you win with regards to Ferdinand and Pallister, like you mentioned. Debate to be had with Schmeichel and Van der Sar. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's going to be really difficult for us by ourselves to judge who actually had the better team. Which is why it's important for you guys to get involved in the comment section down below. Before we end this video, I'd like to thank Varun for coming on and helping me out with this concept. It's been pretty difficult finding people to actually do this video with, so I'm incredibly grateful to you for coming on and selecting your all-time United 11, although it pales in comparison to the team I selected. But yeah, thank you so much, Varun. Hopefully we can have you again for another video.
Thank you so much, man. Always happy to talk about United and learn about some old players who I keep forgetting about, but very happy to always do this. And yeah, good discussion, definitely.
Yeah, guys, so once again reminding you guys to get down into the comment section and let us know who has the better Manchester United all-time team. Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and although I'm repeating myself, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.